Hi, I'm Stephanie Silverman, one of the founders and owners of Your Teen Media. Today's workshop focuses on helping kids with learning and attention issues and the challenges that they face now with online learning amidst COVID. I want to thank our sponsor, A Plus Solutions. A Plus Solutions provides high quality learning, development, and psychological services for families. Their individualized approach to designing the best educational services for each child enables them to serve the needs of all types of learners. Their array of services allows families to meet many needs in one place. They are also offering our viewers a free 1-hour consultation to help parents address concerns related to your child's learning amidst COVID. Visit their website at thinkaplus.com. That's thinkaplus, P-L-U-S, thinkaplus.com to learn more. Thanks so much and enjoy the workshop.
Sue Borison here with Your Teen Media, and today I'm here with Hadassa Meyers, founder and director of educational services at A Plus Solutions. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
So I wanted to start with, we're at this unusual point in time right now where school is almost ending, and for some, this online learning didn't go so well. So parents and their kids might be feeling like, you know what, let's just let it go. It didn't go so well. What's your advice?
So I get the frustration. Everyone is kind of dealing with this in a different way. Schools are setting up distance learning in different ways, and it worked for some students and it didn't work for other students. But I think that just saying, let's just leave it, start over in September is not the best idea. And here's why. There's a lot of learning that usually goes on from March to June or March to the end of May, depending on when your school ends. And to just kind of say, well, let's chalk it up to COVID-19 and, it's okay if they didn't learn, isn't the best attitude, because there are a lot of skills they were supposed to get in that short amount of time. And if they didn't get those skills, they may be at a deficit in September. So I don't think we want to say, let's just forget about it. I think we want to evaluate what happened and see what we can do to kind of tune in for those last few weeks, or maybe even make up for some lost time over the summer.
That's great advice. Thanks. Kids who were struggling before, that school was more of a challenge, maybe they had an IEP or they had an aide. What is that typically looking like in the home right now?
So I think there's a lot of overwhelm and there's a lot of frustration. For some kids, their support services, whatever they might have had in school, are continuing during this time in some obviously alternative way. And something might be happening. They might be getting some tutoring or some support from their classroom teacher. For a lot of kids, that's not happening. And so they're not really getting any special supports that they may have been getting in school. So they're being asked now to do the same work that everyone else is doing. Whereas before it might have been the same work, but presented in a different way, or maybe someone was pre-teaching that material to them or going over that material after it was presented to them. If that's not happening anymore, that student's going to still struggle, right? Because the challenges, the differences didn't go away, just the services went away. So now mom or dad is the support person, and that's really, really hard. And they have to be the ones to step in and make sure that student is getting what they need. And for some parents, they don't necessarily know what they need. For some parents, they may very well know what they need, but if they didn't go to school for special education, they may not know how to help their child. So it's really, really challenging.
Is there one best tip to give to those parents of something that they can do to support their kids?
Yeah, I think one thing that we can do is, let's not be afraid to reach out and to the teacher or to whoever the person is, the intervention team that your child normally works at, and say, this wasn't working. This is what my child needs. I see that they're really, really struggling, and here's why. And I need your help. Don't be afraid to reach out. If that doesn't feel like that will get you anywhere, then I think it's time to look outside, see if there's a company or an agency that you can call to get in, to provide a teacher, an intervention specialist, somebody to help you with this process. And I think that there's nothing wrong with asking for help. This is a really, really difficult time for everyone.
Okay, and we're going to get a little more into what A+ Solutions offers later, but they certainly are a place you can call to get support. So there are some kids who weren't struggling in school, but are now struggling at home because of the change of the way learning is being delivered. Mm-hmm. How does that look?
So I think that, like you said, it's just all very new and all very overwhelming to all of us, and not everyone processes information the same way, and so yeah, some kids are really struggling. What needs to happen is you need to kind of get a sense, and I think I might have mentioned this before, like you might be in the dark and not know exactly why things are not working well. It's important to have that dialogue with your teen and say, like, what do you think is going on? Like, why do you think this is not working for you? It could be something simple, like, it's just too much information at once and we need to slow down. You might not know what's happening, but your teen actually might know what's going on. So a conversation about, like, why do you think this is not working? Again, reaching out to the classroom teacher and finding out what they're seeing on their end. And just trying to put those pieces together, the feedback you're getting from the teacher, what your teen is experiencing, and to try to, make sense of it all and figure out how to, maybe take a pause and, like, come back at it from a different angle.
So one of the things that your specialists know and are particularly good at is working with a school, right? Like, they know how to talk to the teacher and talk to the interventional specialist there. Parents aren't always so good at that. So what are the best tips to give to parents? We're suggesting that they call these people at school. They might even need a team meeting at some point. Mm-hmm. Coming in and demanding probably doesn't work so well. What does work well?
I think you want to be a team player. You want to show the intervention team or the school team, whoever it is, you want to show that you're not coming at them like with an attack. You're not saying they did anything wrong. You're a collaborative partner. You want to help them educate your child, but you know your child best and you know what they need, and you want to make sure that your child is being supported. So you're coming at it as a team player, someone who's really working together with the school to help meet the needs of your child, and understanding also that this is a really hard time for everyone. This is a really hard time for schools. This is like an impossible time for teachers. Teachers are actually working harder than they were working before, if that's even possible. They really are. So you're not putting anyone at fault. You're not criticizing. You're just advocating for your child, saying what they need, and expressing what is happening.
So is there like one sentence that people should start the conversation with that kind of shows that I'm here on your team, like we're all on the same team?
Yeah, what about just starting off with, thank you so much for everything you're doing in this really difficult time. I'm concerned with how math is going for Tommy, or I'm concerned that Jill is not getting her work done. I see that she's not, and I'm having trouble helping her. How can we do this together?
That's great. I love that opening sentence. Okay, so we're approaching the end of the year, and typically at the end of a school year, teams would be meeting to talk about what the next year is going to look like. Mm-hmm. What can parents be doing for their kids right now? So much turmoil and uncertainty, but we still want to be mindful of going back to some form of learning in the fall. Do you have a recommendation for what they should be doing now?
I think they should be taking some time to assess what happened in these couple of months. How much progress, if any, has been made. Where are we falling short? I don't mean where the schools are falling short, but where has your student been falling short? What are the things they still need to work on? That might be hard for a parent to assess, but it's it's time to have that dialogue with the school and kind of finding out where they are and where they need to be so that you can plan effectively. It might mean, practicing some skills over the summer. It might mean reviewing some material. Maybe it's not reteaching anything. Maybe it's just a review of some skills taught during the school year so that they're sharp in September.
So do you think it looks different than it does on other years?
I think for most kids it does, because most kids are not where they're supposed to be at the end of the year. And schools are going to know that, and I'm sure there's going to be a period of review time at the beginning of the fall. But if you have a student that struggles, then they may not be able to afford that lag that they've had at the end of this year. And you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to support them so that they're in a good place in the fall.
Okay, so what if I'm a parent who just, for whatever reason, I work, my husband works, I'm a single parent, whatever it is, I cannot be the one to help my child. And I don't want to let this be the outcome because I'm not there to help them. I don't know what to do. What should I do?
So, then it's time to reach out to a professional, looking for an intervention specialist, looking for a company that provides services to help finish up the school year strong, or to help practice skills that should have been taught at the end of the year, practice those skills in the summer, get them ready for the next grade. You don't have to do it alone as a parent. There's so many things that is our job with raising kids, right? Education isn't supposed to be our job. We're supposed to send them to professionals to do that. So I don't think we need to take that on, and especially if it's going to cause any kind of strife between you and your teen, we don't need that. So looking to a professional to help is a good step.
And like for middle school, so we still might make that phone call for our kid and set things up for them. But we talk a lot at your teen about raising kids who are becoming more independent, and that we should have them do some of these things. But is this a time to kind of really insist on that?
I think this is the time where you want to step in. It depends. Every kid is different, but this is a novel situation. Kids are being asked to do things that they weren't asked to before. You want to help your child advocate for themselves. You have a 16-year-old. Yes, they should be going to the teacher. You shouldn't be going for them in a regular situation. But this might be too much. It might be just too overwhelming. And the thought of them having to do one other thing might just be too much. And so you might have to make that initial phone call or email, but I would include your teen in that process so that they can follow it through the next time.
Okay, so I'm here and I'm desperate and I'm ready to call A+ Solutions. What do I do? What can I expect when I make that phone call?
Sure. So you can call or visit our website and set up a consultation appointment.
What's your website? Tell us your website.
Oh, sorry. thinkaplus.com. A+ is actually written out, THINKAPLUS.com. Or you can call us 216-896-0111.
And you don't have to be in Cleveland, right? That's a Cleveland area code, but you don't have to be in Cleveland.
Right. You don't have to be in Cleveland because just a couple months ago, we put everything online. So now all of our services are online. And you can make that phone call or go to our website and sign up for a free consultation. And I will meet with you virtually or over the phone or on Zoom, and we can talk about everything that's going on and then set up the most appropriate plan going forward.
And what are the options? I think there are 4 different approaches you can take, right?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. If the question is why is my student struggling so much, and it's not clear that it's just because it's been presented in a different format, you may want to do what's called a psychoeducational evaluation, which is kind of looking at your child's cognitive abilities, the way they learn, the way they process information, how much they've achieved so far, kind of looking for discrepancies there, see if there's an attentional issue or a behavioral or social emotional issue that might be getting in the way. So, that might be one thing that's necessary in order to go forward. But you might already have all of that information, and it might really be just about setting up an intervention specialist or a reading specialist or an academic coach to work with that student on whatever it is that they're struggling with.
And do you do any kind of advocacy with the schools?
Yeah, absolutely. So we will meet with this again. So it kind of depends on what the situation is. We can meet face to face with the school team in a normal situation. We can do that online as well. If school is already has already finished, then there still might be like a support person that's available to meet with. We can evaluate any IEPs, which is an individualized education plan that you might have, and help to work together with the school to implement that. So yeah, it depends what you actually are coming to the table with, how much information you do have.
Okay, let's end with this last question. One important piece of advice for parents of teenagers who are struggling with online learning.
So I think the first thing is take a deep breath. You're not alone. Okay, remember that this is difficult for everyone. Talk to your teen, find out what's going on from their perspective. Reach out to the classroom teacher. Set a good plan for your child. Again, whether it's going outside, whether it's setting up something that you and your teen are going to do together to get through this. Talk about what is going to work, what kind of routine to put in place. What do they need from you? How can you be a supportive partner? I think the biggest thing is opening up that dialogue between you and your teen, and get that team relationship working, because that's what it's going to take.
I love that, starting the conversation with what can I do to help you get this done. I think that's a home run approach there. Hadassa Meyers, founder and director of educational services at A+ Solutions. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk to us. We really appreciate your advice.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.